Hi again then guys, and so we've got another special projects build for you today, and this time it's something a little bit different again from replicas, etc. It's a down tune for the widely loved Tomahawk. Now this is the lowest version of the Tomahawk, it's the Tomahawk S, and the problem that the Tomahawk S experiences is kind of similar to the GTSR version. The X version is obvious in its purpose, it's just completely OP, the ultimate version. The S version though, and the GTSR both have pretty high PP levels, but aren't necessarily all that good at those PP levels, because you can get stuff like the Red Bull and go up against it and have better handling. And then there's the other occasions when you pull them out and the PP is so high that they don't really have that many natural rivals and you can't use them that often. So what I've done is I've taken the arguably best handling version of the three, the standard S model, and then just adapted it to a more usable and more practical PP level, which is 700 PP instead of 747 or whatever it is as standard. Now at this level you may think it's going to be significantly slower. Now it is a bit slower, but this is still a 290 mph machine even at the 700 PP level. And in testing it around the Nuremberg Ring, this is far faster than any other 700 PP car. It's also a lot easier to drive than the GTSR or the X versions. So overall, it's a win-win really. Now I'll call this the 700E, and the reason for that is the E is entry level. Obviously you can call it whatever you want, but that's just what I chose to call it for the sake of simplicity. Obviously there's no visual stuff that you can do to this car apart from the paint, so we'll just go straight to the garage for the mechanical setup and then out to the track to show you guys what it can do. So for the mechanical setup on this particular model, I've gone for racing soft tyres. Obviously that's down to personal preference. As far as the brakes, all three Tomahawks have far too powerful brakes, so I've reduced the balance down to 1 front and rear, which is still more than enough. For suspension, we've reduced the ride height to 70 front and rear. We've also reduced the springs down to 1075 and 1325, dampers to 5, anti-roll to 7. You can't adjust the camber, unfortunately. And we've got neutral toe as always. For the gearbox, we've got an auto setting of 249. Then you want 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th all the way to the left, with 7th on 0.725 and a final drive of 4. For the diff we've got the lowest initial torque. For acceleration 40 front and rear and 20 for braking. As far as the power, we do have an oil change, so you need to bear that in mind, and we've reduced the power down to 800 horsepower or 76.5% power. You can't adjust the downforce of course, and we've increased the ballast by 136 kilos, which we've put 36% towards the front of the car, both to bring us down to the 700 PP level, having a decent weight but also decent power, and also a perfect 50-50 weight split. So a relatively simple setup for this 700 PP version. So now let's take it out to the track to see what it can do. Now to some degree I was expecting the car still to be reasonably twitchy, in the same way as the Red Bulls are even when you detune them. But it actually surprised me by just how easy this car is to drive fast. I also wasn't sure how fast it would be, because obviously we've reduced the power a lot, it's also carrying a lot of ballast, so I was expecting the lap times to kind of suffer. Overall though, it really hasn't suffered, because at the 700 PP level with this tune, this car on my first attempt got around the Nuremberg Ring in 5 minutes and 28 seconds. And put simply, there's nothing else in the 700 PP category that can come anywhere near that. I think the closest thing is probably a top level Le Mans car like the R92 CP or the Pascalo Hybrid. Even they are about 10 to 15 seconds off that kind of pace, and that's with me driving. I'm nowhere near the fastest of drivers on Gran Turismo, and I can tell from driving this car that this car has so much potential to be even possibly under 5 minutes in the 700 PP category, which means it's pretty much unbeatable in the 700 PP category. And as I said towards the start of the video, despite the fact that it's only running 800 horsepower and significantly more weight, it can still do around 290 with the boost system engaged. I can't recall at the moment what the top speed is without boost. I think it may have been around 260, which is still more than fast enough for most tracks. But overall, if you've got a Tomahawk S and you don't really feel like you're putting it to the best use, I would strongly suggest that you try out this tune, because it makes the car much more usable at a more realistic level. Because let's face it, who races at 750 pp? Hardly anyone. Who races at 700? Lots of people. So if you decide to use this tune, I hope you find it fun, and it is certainly competitive. And if you're new to the channel or just found this helpful in general, feel free to subscribe. I put out new special projects like this every week, plus new drag tunes on the weekends, new top speed tunes every day, and car reviews every day as well. And as always, thanks for watching.